All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to our earnings live coverage today. Glad to have you guys here over on YouTube and also our members in our chat. So welcome, guys. Good afternoon. We got Mike and Jerry, and Brian should be joining us any minute now. So good afternoon, Mike. How you doing today?
I am doing wonderful. And you, Carlos?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Excited for what's to come here with Nvidia. Should be a lot of fun. One thing that's been very exciting, you see on my screen here, is Tesla, man. It just
Oh, yeah.
keeps on going. Ouch, 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 ouch. So, if you thought there was going to be some buying going in today, no, 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 no. We're going on the what,
Nope.
fifth day in a row, red. So
Yeah,
that's not been
man.
pretty. That's not been
It,
pretty.
I keep thinking, man, if I had just bought 300 puts a week ago, man, it would be an awesome. But
Oh yeah.
hey,
Oh yeah. We
we'll
also
we'll
got
see what it's got to. We'll see if Tesla can find some support here eventually. Maybe down there by 275, I think.
yeah, yeah. It's yeah, I got 275.69 the
Yeah.
level down there, so we'll see where it goes, man. But yeah, it's been it's not been pretty. We also got Jared. Good afternoon, Jared. Hope you're well, my friend.
Good afternoon. I'm doing quite well. Appreciate it.
All
Ready
right,
for this
awesome.
market shaking earnings event. Let's get into it.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
know, right?
All right, friends. So here it is, NVIDIA. That's what we're here for. NVIDIA, and yes, I'm not going to forget about Salesforce, but NVIDIA's the one. Everything else can kind of sit on the side for a little bit. We've been waiting for this, the tech giant. So let's get right into it. So, Mike, what do we got going on with NVIDIA as far as what we've seen over the last couple of days, what we're waiting for, and kind of some of the impact that, the tech AI world is kind of waiting for?
Yeah, I mean, it is absolutely that the SPY, the tech world, the AI world, everybody's focused on Nvidia. Nvidia had such a dominance, and everybody was pumping so much cash and liquidity into Nvidia when it was leading the AI, and then boom, out came DeepSeek, and Nvidia gapped down, and right now everybody's seeing, hey, what is Nvidia going to be able to do? Are they going to be able to produce the revenue? Are they going to get their earnings per share back up? How are they going to compete with this DeepSeek? Because this is the really the first major time that we get to see the impact of that on Nvidia itself, and the market in whole is really looking at it. Nvidia is unique in that it reports a little bit away from the rest of the Magnificent Seven stocks. So the market's been able to digest everybody else. And now it's looking specifically at Nvidia to see what they're going to do. And I think people are really concerned right now about how much they're spending on data centers and what the AI competition is going to be. So they want some certainty with that to see if stuff starts to go back in their favor. And I think as you can see on the daily chart there, that on January 27th, it really gapped down from that DeepSeek news. Um, After a couple days, it continued to start that recovery from that lowest price it had on February 18th, and it grinded its way back up until it got back to kind of that closing level where before that gap down. But ever since then, it's been kind of coming back down, and I think we found it right in the middle of that range now. That it kind of wants to say, "All right, you gap down. We've allowed you to come back. Now we brought you down in the middle, and we want to see." What you got to say, and all eyes in the sector are focused on what they're going to say and their earnings. And I'm sure Jared's got some great things going on with the expected move and some other technical analysis.
Yep, yeah, absolutely, Chad. Let's go to you. I know you got some good numbers for us on this.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike. And yeah, Mike kind of covered the large areas of interest right now because NVIDIA's got kind of one of those technical leans that isn't necessarily screaming bullish. There's a couple of issues on the overall technical range with NVIDIA. One that's really obvious is that investors haven't really been seeing a lot of additional performance since last year. So obviously we've been trading lows and highs, but 140 is still basically the all-time high with some peaks above. And from an investing perspective, $10 a share is not really enough to call it a performance stock. So comparing that as well with the fact that we're down from year to date open. Now, this is not necessarily abnormal right now. A lot of our large Mag 7 stocks are actually down from year to date open. There's only maybe two that have any performance left in that category, and I think we're starting to lose one of them today. But net, our tech stocks are not really the performers this year. So NVIDIA finds itself in a weird, I would say, non-performant on the year and also not really performing very much on overall quarter to quarter. You know, we're talking recovery trades more so than I would say additional upside. The real number, though, is the expected move. And given it's been a little while since we talked about this, I figured I'd take a moment. When we're looking at expected move, it's always good to kind of categorize where this number is coming from. What I'm doing is jumping over to the weekly option series, and this is NVIDIA's weekly option chain. I'm going right over here on my platform to this nice, easy calculated number off on the right-hand side, which showcases about 12.4. You can also do this if you don't have the platform's number by taking essentially an at the money straddle, which in this case, NVIDIA's somewhere around 130 to 131. You would add up both the call and the put side, and that would roughly be about 12.5, maybe 13 with some of the pricing down there. So what does all this mean and where is this number relevant for trade? Well, we want to take these numbers and we really want to just extrapolate or move them over into our trading chart. So if I can get my chart back. Now that we can kind of see NVIDIA's session today, and we know that it, unless some really big volume comes in, we expect it to close somewhere around where it is right now. Our expected move high and low can be calculated from that number. So if a closing price is approximately 130, it puts the expected move high at about 142.50. I'll go ahead and show the price on that as well. So that's a really nice objective for the bull side of the market. If you are playing the reaction trading around the earnings, this is kind of one of your targets. And it's also what volatility is suggesting. It's more about what has the option market priced in for the risk, and it kind of shows you what's in range. Basically, if you've been taking NVIDIA positions this year, you're in range. NVIDIA hasn't really moved. So pretty much anyone who's been tackling NVIDIA is obviously about to get tested. Same thing with the downside. The expected move low is simply $12.5 lower from the closing price. And in this case, we're looking at 117.50. So as Mike mentioned, the DeepSeek gap down is one of the bigger technical events on NVIDIA's chart. So I have the high and low of that range also marked. It was basically just the day after the gap down. And when we look at the expected move low, it basically erases any of the rally that we saw coming from that range. So if we were to sell back down, you know, we're basically looking at it moving to the closest support that we have. We are kind of somewhere in the middle. So there's not really a lot of edge here as far as calling a direction, but as far as movement is concerned, we do have some range behind the stock. And when we think about this stock being about 130 a share and a $12.5 expected move, that's approximately 9%, 9 to 10%. So they're pricing in some pretty good volatility for what is essentially the second largest stock in the market. You know, we're definitely looking at a $3.2 trillion stock that's about to move $320 billion worth of market cap higher or lower. So get ready for some fireworks and probably some correlation in the overall NASDAQ and S&P. So that's it.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. You mentioned how much money's moving around with this one. It's gonna be crazy. It sure is.
Mhm.
Another one that we're gonna be looking to as well is CRM. Now, CRM is again usually not a great intraday trading ticker, but it is one that does move quite a bit. People do like to watch this one. I know a lot of people like to swing trade this one, probably more than day trade from the people I know at least. So yeah, let's go to Salesforce, Mike, and what we got going on there for today.
Yeah, well, the big news today on Salesforce or CRM is that its major subsidiary Slack has crashed, and for that reliability of their platform, I think having your main platform go down the day of your earnings, it's not going to impact anything right now because the earnings have already been calculated from before. But it does kind of get investors a little bit shaken because how reliable is the product and that they're about ready to invest in. So, and like just about every other stock out there in the tech sector, CRM has been investing heavily into AI. And they've done this in products to kind of automate tasks that are beyond what their traditional capabilities are. And it's allowed them to kind of start to compete with Microsoft and Google. While doing that, though, they did enter into an agreement this quarter with Google Cloud to enhance those features that they are trying to develop. Um, I think where the investors are going to be looking at is they're really going to be monitoring how Salesforce's AI initiatives correlate to their financial performance. And I think that's going to be a little bit of what investors want with NVIDIA too. Like you're investing all this money in AI, but what are you getting in return for it? I think we're past that point of, hey, it's AI, throw money at it and the stock goes up. I don't think we're there anymore. I think now investors are like, okay, we know what AI is. Now show me the performance that you're going to get. If we look at the CRM's chart, you can tell they've been in a downtrend ever since about February 28th, so not performing very well. I can tell you that I haven't really traded it, like you mentioned, not a great intraday trader, so I don't typically watch it, but I do think it's going to be interesting for earnings. Jared's going to talk about the expected move on it. It's pretty high for it, but there's a huge level sitting down at 300 that if it loses that level, it could be a bad day for CRM come tomorrow. That is a definite support level, and it's well within the range of the expected move and where it's sitting right now. So, what do you got to say on that aspect of that part, Jared?
I completely agree. That is a critical line in the sand there. And there's some larger consequences that I'll show in just a moment. But the general posture, I think you touched on pretty well. We've been kind of sliding off of the top end of that trading range. And past couple days, we're actually trading underneath the more reactive supports. So somewhere around 315, you could tell that there was a little bit of structural support coming in, but we have slid slightly underneath it. So the technical posture is basically on the verge of a breakdown. If you look at a 4-hour chart, you can even see it more clearly. They're kind of resisting the bottom of the old trading range. So there's definitely some technical issues there. Um, what's even worse is there's larger ranges underneath, like always. So if we really start sliding from up here, there's these larger UTAD and overhead supply concepts that can really take the stock lower very quickly. So we want to be on guard on downside, and that's where our expected move comes into play. Um, as you mentioned, this one has a pretty decent expected move. For a $308 stock, it's still about 9% because we're looking at about plus or minus 28. So, share price, that's pretty big, but percentage wise, it's about 9% total. So in line with a lot of the larger tech stocks, they usually price them a little bit higher on volatility. If we close at 307.50, and I'm kind of giving it some wiggle room here, but it makes our expected move high at about 335. So if they want to push it back into range, that would be a great mid-range target, and it would kind of keep the support intact. It makes the more recent trade a little bit of a false look and probably a little bit of a bear trap. But if we do go down and it's poised to go down, then 280 is our lower expected move. So plus or minus 28, that's a lot of breathing room for this stock. I think I haven't really seen this one trade after hours, so I don't know if it's clean on the overnight trade, but I do find that this one's a big mover. And I often find that it's pretty decent the day after. So it's one of the few times we would probably put this on our watch list tomorrow. And if we get some movement overnight, especially, we could either play reactions off of some of those deeper and higher areas, or we can continue the move because if it's selling, it's a breakdown. And, the breakdowns from on high are scary because it also means that we have a lot of room to fall. There's much deeper supports on the weekly chart. So we'll see. One step at a time, but I often find that if you're in a really high end area and it's already kind of shaking apart, the consequences can be pretty bad. And for now, we'll just go for 280. In the future, we'll see how bad it gets. So
Yeah,
It can get
you're
bad.
right. It can get bad. And you're right, man. This one, during earnings, we do see a lot of great trading the day after. So will definitely be on my list. It should be a lot of fun. We should get some increased volume, and looking forward to see how this is going to react. I think it's going to be a wild. So both of these are going to be fun to look at and kind of see where the action takes us now. So I'm looking at Nvidia. Nvidia is getting a nice little bounce over the last couple of minutes going into the close. So seeing a little bit of action there. We're up today after the last 3 days struggling, seeing some red here. So let's see. People kind of preparing for earnings and expecting what can possibly happen here, getting ahead of the move this afternoon. So should be interesting.
Yeah, I have it reporting at 4:20, but I've also seen out there that it's reporting at 4 o'clock. Jared, what do you have?
I also have 420, and that's coming from just
Yeah.
earnings whispers. So I'll be on
Yeah.
guard for the close, but if it's correct, I'll be waiting for the 420 announcement.
Yeah, definitely the 420 announcement with it. So, um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know, typically trade after hours at all, but Nvidia, depending on what it kind of looks like and the moves that it's going with, possibly could be taking a trade on it. We'll see. I'm
Yeah.
not afraid, put it that way, because
I'm not
I think
afraid.
we're going to get some volume into this stock after
Ab-
hours.
Absolutely. I mean, even just moving back into the deep seek range, there's so much volume that was created there, so much posturing that if you go to the support, I still expect some sort of push against the lows. If it goes higher, I think I'm concerned with the fact that they're trying to sell it. So I'd be curious if sellers like get out of the way and it could actually move it way further than what's expected. But the downside risk is pretty much the deep seek low, and that's where I'll be looking for any changes in how the price action is moving.
Yeah,
Any
and
bounces?
Mm. Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. I might not be trading it too much, but I think it's a good trader. I mean, it's so liquid that there has to be a lot of good order flow, and I doubt they're going to move it thin. There's too much money in it.
yeah,
Um,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Another thing, real quick, since we're looking at it, just for reference, the call side of the NVIDIA's option chain is way bigger than the put side. So if NVIDIA goes up, the 140 calls are massive. And I mean, NVIDIA always trades a lot of size, but as far as what's visually standing out to me, 140 is
Wow,
lit up like a Christmas tree.
Mm.
Um,
117,000.
yeah, that's open interest. And then another
Open interest.
119 in volume came in today, which we don't know if it's staying. It's also true that 150 is really elevated too. So really
Did
moving above 140 would be a big achievement because that is still such a big resistance point for NVIDIA. It's the high of last year, really. It's that
did you
last
see
peak.
anything? Do you see anything come on the put side? Anybody putting spreads in on them? No, I don't
There
see really.
there's put trade going on. I mean, 120 has kind of the largest OI and volume, and 115 is pretty elevated. It's just not nearly as big. So
Yeah,
it's maybe half the size of the call side of the market. It doesn't mean that Nvidia is going up, but if it does go up, the options will keep it there. And that's a really important dynamic that we'll use tomorrow. If we're, pulling back to 140 and they moved it higher, we're probably going to look for 140 as support, and then we might be able to take it to 150 over the course of a couple days. So
yeah.
it's something to think about, not only where the big money is, but also what could be the trade after earnings. What are some of the setups we'd be looking for?
What what I'll be looking for tomorrow,
Yeah,
if we get a good earnings setup, go get
right.
that high a day break on it. Yeah, up to 150.
I
So
mean, it would be a breath of relief if Nvidia rallied, because I think the whole market is looking for a reason to go up. And if it doesn't, that just kind of confirms that we're seeing some selling that might have some staying power in the market. So we'll see.
Yeah, and not just on Nvidia, right? Like this stock, it does so much with every other ticker that's involved with tech and AI. I mean, it's a lot. So it's a lot of weight on it for it to go up. So we'll see how it does here. All right, 7 minutes to the close almost. We do have some other ones that are reporting today. We won't do a detailed dive in them, but we will be looking out for them. We have Snow. We also have IonQ. So we'll check on how those are doing. But again, the big ones right now, NVIDIA, of course, and CRM. There was a question in chat asking us, what is the best website for earnings? We use Benzinga. So if you're a member in the chat, we got Benzinga up there. You could click on that. You could turn on Squawk, and they're pretty good at telling us, when the release has been made. But when it comes to earnings, almost, there's tons of websites you could use. Just Google one that has what is, but that has kind of like is waiting for that release to happen. So there's a bunch you could look at. I'm not sure if you guys have any other ones besides Benzinga that you would recommend for earnings.
I prefer Benzinga because I can get the news
Yeah,
immediately on the release, right in my left ear, of
yeah,
all things.
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah, as far as
pretty neat.
as far as finding the numbers, I think Benzing is probably our best resource for that.
Yep. So yeah, let's see how this goes. And there'll be some other ones too as we kind
Pushing
of.
Nvidia higher right now.
Yeah, yep, they are. Yeah, they're getting a lot of action on it
Look,
right now as
look at
well.
the time and sales on it, which is the time and sales is cycling right now. So right here at this 132 level.
Yeah, you can see the last couple of 5 minutes the increase in volume, almost double what we had just about 30 minutes ago. So we're moving. Party started.
It's
Let's see if the
almost
party's going to
equal to
continue.
the open today.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pretty close. Yep.
Man,
Pretty
Uh,
close.
given you mentioned
wow.
Snow and IonQ, I'll just mention
Yep.
their expected moves real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Um, Snow's expected move is about 20, and it's about $167 stock. So that's actually a pretty decent move, about 12, 13% on that asset. Um, Snow's known for some pretty big moves, so I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a big shakeup in the Snow chart. But $20, so maybe like 147 7 downside and 187 upside. Rough calculation. Ion Q is 4.5. And that's a quantum stock, which, as far as reporting is concerned, we haven't really heard other quantum stocks report after the big run-ups that they've had. So IonQ would be interesting for sympathy, because if they report well and the market really, I guess, like continues its advance to the upside, that'd be something to watch for the other names too. Rigetti and QBTS and the ones that we kept watching. So.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. Because Rigetti, I think, is the next week or the following week. I forget the actual time they're going to report. But you're right. We haven't seen much from the quantum stuff. And this one will be one that kind of can spark things up again after that drop, right? And that drop was based on, if you guys remember, early January, I'm looking at IonQ. That was based on Juan Jensen from the CEO of Nvidia, kind of telling them, hey, you're light years away from actually being useful. It's strong words to use there. It's very strong words coming from him. But I love how
70% haircut off the top, 3 days for 70% down.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. And it's funny because I think then you had Microsoft, Bill Gates kind of comes to the rescue a little bit, saying, no, it's not that bad. I don't know what his take is on it, but he kind of talked positive about it, and that Jensen's timeline could be a little bit off. But so, yes, so that all in all, IonQ could be interesting for those other plays as well, and how they look in the next couple of weeks. So should be fun also.
Yeah, so 4.5 for IonQ. I think it's trading at it right around 30, so 34.5 all the way down to maybe 26.5 as far as just getting the prices together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll probably do sympathy on that one as opposed to trading it directly.
Yeah, someone's asked, Helen, you're asking about SMCI. Oh, SMCI is done. That's it. Their numbers are out. They actually got in their deadline yesterday. They gapped up today, and what they're doing right now, they're still up 12%. So it's been fun to watch, very active. I'm sure it'll be in our watch list for days to come, right? So let's see if they can stay compliant with the SEC and stay listed. So the drama for now, at least, is over.
Yeah, the drama of being delisted, that's never good to have your company worried about whether you're a going concern or not.
Yeah. And again, the interesting part about it, I didn't know until yesterday, was I was looking into it. They've done this before. This is like they got delisted before just because of this, not coming out with the financial numbers. And then Peter this morning ran into their whole family history on how they're all intertwined with different companies, which was kind of interesting. It's just it's messy. The back end of this company is messy, but to be up this much this year, and you obviously got something good, got a good product, and even if the financials are a little bit messy, people are willing to stand behind you here. So Supermicro, so that's what we're seeing. Investors still want to be in this because, man, there's other stocks you can trade. Like if I'm an investor, I probably won't like the drama as much. There's other tickers that you can invest if you like this technology and product that they support here. So just a bunch of stuff. So interesting. All right, SPY right now, as we are nearing the close, we are, like flat. Just noticed that. We're like right on the previous day close. So not much there. And we'll see.
Should be getting earnings here on CRM shortly.
Yep. CRM is after the close, right? Right after?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right afterwards. So we'll wait for Benzinga. I got waiting for him to hop on the mic.
All right, there is ding, ding, ding. Let's see how CRM does.
About $20 on CRM. Let's see if it can produce an expected move.
I love the spread on it right now. $3.21.
Completely manageable with small size. Usually tightens up once it moves. So.
Yeah. Roger Jarrett is using Thinkorswim for his platform. When you see those numbers and charts, I'll show you now. This one right here, Thinkorswim.
Yeah. I try and do all my charting like markup over here, and then I trade using other platforms. There's CRM.
Oh, ouch. Here we go. See, I'm dropping
Reported
like a rock.
$2.78 versus estimate $2.61, 278.
Well, that is below
Missed on
300.
revenue.
Mm,
Looking at 280
right to
expected. That is
280.
a hit.
There it is.
Right to it right now.
Yeah. Let's see if it can hold. If that holds to the penny, that's pretty crazy. Pretty neat how that works though. Just like a magnet sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, to
Yeah.
come right to it like that, and you are getting a little bit of a balance. We're risky enough to kind of play off of that. You're up $4, but man, that trade takes some serious cojones to do that, man. Ooh,
Yeah. And it's not guaranteed to last for very long.
yeah, yeah.
They usually try to move it down to much further. This is a big consequential breakdown, as we mentioned, for CRM. The technicals are bearish, very bearish. So
The
there's a lot of room
numbers,
to move down.
so the number for earnings per share, it beat $2.78 versus its 261 estimate, and the sales of 9.9 billion, but that missed its 10.37 billion estimate. So
No good.
mixed review on.
Yeah, you don't want to be at an elevated price and have mixed results.
Nope. At least the spread's starting to come down into like somewhat reasonable. But yeah, that's gonna be hard to recover from. I mean, it lost its range, and now.
Yep. Now the floor is open.
Yeah.
But you can always play around with bounces and stuff along the way. I think it's mostly just if 300 stays as the seller. But imagine being in a position and seeing that kind of reaction. Just something from the
Yeah,
past.
yeah. That's tough. That's tough. And those numbers don't sound great either, man. Like long term, we'll see how that goes. Because it's always about the future outlook. But not looking pretty right now. Earnings are in, sell. Comment on YouTube,
Sell,
we'll
sell,
see.
sell.
At least on CRM, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to sell it at the right prices. You can't just jump in short. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's so
there's
wild.
there's
Because you
definitely
could be
play.
right. You could be right in your overall move, but this thing could pull back, $5, and you could be in a tough situation to get back to break even. So got to be very careful. If you never traded earnings before, I suggest try and sim first, play around with it there. But yeah, don't put real money on the line if you haven't done it before. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest things that you have to make sure you're paying attention to is the spread on the stocks, because after
Yep,
hours
yep.
the liquidity isn't there, and something that you're used to seeing with a spread of 5 to 10 cents, right, can have like CRM right now is $1, and at one point it was $4. So you want to be very, very careful with your bid ask spread. Nothing like taking 100 shares and being down $1,000 to begin with.
Yeah, it's not fun. That is not
All
good.
right. I'm seeing snow start to move here, and
All right.
ion Q. So we might be next on the list.
Yep, snow.
Yes, no, it's moving. Curious on IonQ as well, man. That's gonna affect a lot of other quantum stuff. Let's see. Snow doing some stuff.
Snow finding strong support at the lows there. Turning around here. About a $20 expected move from the closing price. I'm not sure if we'll get all of that given the rebound effect, but this thing is moving. another one with a really
Nvidia.
wide spread too.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything come out yet on.
Yeah, we got some reaction here. I'm not sure if that's earnings already or just it going nuts. I'm not sure if it's out yet. It's hard to tell with the way the volume is right now.
True.
As low as 153, high as
No.
178. Trying to settle towards the high side. And INQ, nothing on that one yet.
No.
Jared, what's the expected move on this one?
Snowflake, 30 cents adjusted. The 17-cent estimate and sales were 986 million.
Right.
Snow $20 expected move on that one.
$20. Okay. We're cranking.
There's
Market likes the information.
That range support held really well, so we're already hitting the middle of the trading range on the weekly, daily chart. If they want to move it to the top, 187, 190, those are well within range right now. So if you're long the position, these are like conservative targets, but the top of the range is still within reach, given what's expected. About 186 to 187 if you're looking on a daily chart.
Much cleaner trading though, right? Compared to what we just saw at the CRM, this is a lot more clean. Spread is actually not that bad. I thought it was gonna be worse. Not that bad. Couple of cents at least right now.
It tightened up.
Yeah,
It was
right.
bad before the volume was stable, but it's much better now. I agree.
Yeah, yep, nice and clean there. Up 10%.
Yeah, they use this low to really spring it back around. So
yeah.
it's a good trading range. It's moving straight to the top.
Nice and smooth. On the other hand, CRM went right below 280s. Has recovered actually quite
Yeah.
a bit here. 293.
Pushing back. Yeah. Wow.
Man,
Still pushing.
snow is rocking. Yeah, that's looking
Yeah.
pretty nice.
We're getting to some of the top resistance points on snow. That one's great. That one looks amazing.
Yeah, yep.
Nice move.
How many are sitting on Nvidia long? We will find out. We will find out in a couple of minutes here.
Yeah. NVIDIA is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. Paris taking a CRM bounce in our chat room. I'm hoping he used some of the information I provided to take that trade, but looks like he made some good money on it. So congratulations.
Very nice, Paris. Oh, look at that.
Snow hit the upper expected move, by the way. 187 was approximate. $20.
He used 280. Right there, 280.
Nice. You know the rules, Paris. If I give you a trade idea, or if I help you with a trade idea, I just need a little bit of a little liquid encouragement when we meet up. Yeah,
Little
kickback. 5%.
Here's Paris trade in chat. Nice entry,
Solid.
man.
Very solid.
Partial. Just clean.
Yeah, what's great about earnings trades is like those could be your focus for the day, so you could avoid trading the open and everything else and just focus on this because there is a lot of volatility here. And if things are moving well, we get moves here that, equate to like swing trades basically. So If you do them right
100%.
and if you're active, you can really hit some home runs.
Yep, 100%. I remember my last trade, man, was on Home Depot a couple of years ago, and wow, if you do it
Hmm.
right, it's worth it's worth every penny. So, um, that thing ran like hell. CRM Snow is still chucking away, man.
Yeah.
Continues to make new highs. We're up now 15% right
Yeah,
now. It's
yeah,
uh,
we're
it's going.
breaking resistance almost. We're pretty close to it. This is beyond what was maybe originally expected, but it could fall back once it's done with the advance. So I'd be looking at
Yeah.
maybe a little bit of profit taking and then considering whether it goes to 200 over the next couple days. Because once you get through a range, you start looking above it. So,
Yeah, and when you do it
but
so clean too, like I noticed, like for example, like CRM, one huge
mhm.
candle straight down, then people start kind of digesting the information. This one is just slow and steady, so people had
Yeah,
time already to digest what has come out, unless they screw up the call. I mean, you're looking pretty good here on Snow. Not saying you still get some profit taking, some pullbacks that can happen, but man, this is it's looking really nice.
7.5 minutes to earnings.
I
Dun,
think
Countdown.
dun.
Ion Q is also kind of bleeding down to where we expect it. It's
Yep.
not it's not looking powerful in either direction, but I do see it kind of slowly coming down. So that one
Is there
might
earnings out
eventually
yet
get
or
there.
no? Is there earnings out, or are we just kind of still waiting?
I
Let me
haven't seen
see.
it.
I have not seen anything on Benzinga, and I have not heard anything. I
Okay.
gotta.
Yeah, not sure. There are quite a few stocks that are reporting today. There's also AI and
Yeah,
Teladoc, but so many.
they're all overshadowed by Nvidia.
I know, I know.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a few beforehand. I think these are really good candidates to watch, but once the fun's over here, everybody just stops trading and looks at Nvidia.
Yeah, yeah. Next
So
week, things really start dying down. It's not a whole lot as we kind of end the earnings season. So things really start to slow up as far as earnings goes.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
this is our last mega market cap. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I'm looking at book catalog. Yeah, I'm still surprised that it has some orders sitting up here at 150 on the book.
Nvidia.
So, yeah, the downside. I posted the book map chart in the chat room for everybody. Um, Before the market closed, a lot of orders stacked to the upside all the way up to 160 and nothing really to the downside. And then and then after hours, they cleared everything except that 150 level.
hmm. Wow, that's kind of additional confirmation that those call buyers are there.
Yeah,
So
they,
yeah,
they're definitely there. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see see how this plays out. I
I
think
wonder
the
if they can.
sentiment is that it's going up, but it could
I wonder if
mean,
they can get through all those orders. That's quite a bit.
yeah,
They'd need a lot of volume, but it's Nvidia.
it is Nvidia.
I
But
mean, from your screenshot, approximately how many shares are sitting at 150? Can you kind of tell?
yeah, it looks like me. Let me see if I can get this thing over. Oh, there COB,
757,000
yeah,
shares.
about 757,000
Okay.
is what we're looking at up there at 150. I mean, yeah, there's
That's a lot.
that is
Now, what's weird about that is like those are sellers. They're passive sellers, so we're gonna try
Yeah.
and get price to them, but it's also about can we get through them. So they're kind of offering like the wall that we have to beat, and that's gonna be a target for now until we can get through them. So if they
It's
could maybe drop price a little and then push back, that'd be a great entry point to play towards them. Kind of like what Snow did, bid
yeah,
down a little and then push.
push up to it. Yeah, Shane Brown 140 is the other major level that's out there on Nvidia that we were looking at.
Mhm. Yeah. I think if I'm looking long, I'd probably go to 145 and knowing that 140 has to like immediately get filled. Um, Getting it all the way to 150 is going to be tough because that's basically like it's almost a new all-time high on Nvidia. So
Yeah.
Here we go. AI. It looks like reported that they sold off pretty nice just now. Dish over on YouTube just told us. Let's see. What about IonQ? IonQ, nothing yet. eBay's
Yeah.
another one. Yep. eBay, another one that's sold off here as well.
a lot of moves down.
Yep. We'll see that tomorrow.
Here's the AI earnings. Whoops, I copied the wrong one. Sorry. Captured their guidance. There's the earnings for Dell. So it lost 12 cents, but it beat its estimate of losing 25 cents per share. So we didn't lose as
I always love that. It beat the estimate to lose less money this year or this quarter. But it is important. I mean, if you're a growth company, sometimes you are losing money. You just need to lose it less aggressively
Yeah.
at a certain point.
Yeah.
So depends on where you're putting the money.
Absolutely.
I think bated breath
Yeah.
now for Nvidia. We're just gonna calm our nerves, get our trigger fingers ready, make sure we can hit the buttons right.
Have them right away for us. Less than a
But
minute if they're on time.
congrats to all the traders who took some of the earnings trades in the chat room and on YouTube. Our whole reason for doing this is to kind of help with trade ideas and kind of see how earnings should be traded. Whether you're taking reactions or just like small plays. The expected move is really helpful, and then obviously the technical ranges that we take a look at. So helps you understand the posture of the stock.
All right. Let's see what our buddy got for us.
We will see. 5 seconds.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, they're late.
They're late. That's not good. No, it actually doesn't mean anything. Happens all the time.
Bidding down heavily here.
Yeah, here we go. Little action to the downside.
Some new bids showed up, but they could still turn it. Yep, they used it to buy. Had a feeling they'd do that.
So it's a beat and a beat. Gaining revenue down, center revenue up.
Y'all saw how they did that? They bid it down a couple bucks and then they used those to basically shoot it back to those larger orders that we're expecting. That's classic.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good. It's good to kind of
That is
anticipate
good.
that stuff. Yep.
This is what people wanted, right? There it is. They're getting it.
Yeah.
NVIDIA to the rescue. Let's see if it sticks here.
So we're thinking 140 initially, and then maybe 145. 150 is gonna be tough.
All right, here we go. Andrew is long NVDL with this here. So he's rocking alongside NVDL and NVIDIA here. Very, very nice. This is going to help the market too, man. I mean, if we can stick to those numbers. Yeah, what's the expected on this? I think I have it.
Yeah, so the expected I just posted there, it was an 89-cent versus 84-cent estimate for earnings per share, and its sales were 39 million versus 30 estimate. So it's a beat, nothing dramatic, but
Sellers did not like that. They stuffed it pretty hard.
Yeah, right. I did not expect that right there. Getting
That's a big turn.
That is an aggressive turn.
I felt that.
Wow.
Yeah. So now we're back into the deep seek range, which I also have marked here.
yeah, we're messing with the high on that deep seek right now.
You know, it actually rejected its year-to-date open. That I'm glad I marked that. I didn't quite think that was going to be that strong.
Oh yeah, it did, didn't it?
Yeah. It might just be temporary, but it's volatile, so that's not easy to trade.
Let's see here.
Definitely got volume in there though.
All right, we're going the other way now. Let's see if it. Man, this one, out of all the ones we had, this is the wildest one. Of course, we expected this to be wild, but man.
So if we can get through year-to-date open, then it opens up some of those targets we saw, but that was a pretty nasty reaction there. We're going to have to now rebuy through it.
Yeah, it kills momentum, right, a little bit, but
kind of shakes up anyone who was already long.
Yeah.
That was pretty nasty.
Yep.
Let's see what we get.
Guys over on YouTube, if you haven't done so already, we love a thumbs up. Really helps us a lot to do these earnings. We got 62 right now. So thank you for those that have done it already. Again, really appreciate it. It helps us out a ton to do these live segments. As we watch NVIDIA struggle to pick a direction, which is right at where we started, where we kind of ended the.
There was a lot of buying at 130.
Yeah.
133.
Did it beat? Jay, it did. It did beat, but again, it didn't blow the doors off. Like they have, like the last couple of earnings, they blew the doors off, right? So they did not do that here, but they still had good earnings. Like we should see a positive outcome here, but then their call is at 5, I believe. So we'll see what Leather Jacket Man does or says, what kind of new chip they're coming out with, and how else they're gonna make money. Probably the only company making money on AI. So
Leather Jacket Man.
Yeah.
His official name.
Jacket.
Yeah. I should have worn my leather jacket. I bought a leather jacket with in Timo because Avi made me do it. So I got a leather jacket. Yeah. So this is why we're having a tough time. That's where we got it from. Yeah. Avi was like, "Oh yeah, get it from Timo." I'm like, "Okay." So I got a leather jacket there.
Avi's got some great ideas.
His ideas are a lot of fun. The market is spoiled. It could be.
It could.
I mean, bull markets create excess. Bear markets create excess. We're spoiled to what's been happening, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
We're spoiled to the past. Always looking for what the future holds. Well, I can tell y'all that trading Nvidia is not going well. So
No,
I'm
long or
glad.
short is messy. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad I did trade it, but I took super small share size, and glad I did.
You took the
Because
bounce?
no, I was trying to go for the 140s, and that washout was I had
Mm,
to
mm.
had to jump out.
Yeah.
I'm
Can't.
really looking to see if we can get back above this 130 level. It seems, or 133. Every time it gets up there, it can't. It's
Yeah,
tons
being
of orders sitting there. It just can't
being trapped
clear.
between year to date high and or year to date open in some of these deep seek areas, it doesn't really have a good directionality component to it.
No.
So get what you can, and then we'll see if there's maybe some better momentum tomorrow.
Yeah. Yep. We'll
If we
definitely be in
get
play tomorrow. So
Yeah, if we get some interest news out of their conference call, maybe.
Mhm.
yeah, we saw that happen last time with what was it, AMD, right? We left the earnings stream like okay, it did okay. We come back, this thing just dropped. Like that's when we really got the moves after the call. So same thing could happen here. I'm sure we want to hear how much they're investing in AI, any new chips coming out, and what plans they have in place here. So and he does well. Like he does well with his presentations. This guy, Jensen. So
Yeah, we're down below VWAP now.
I see buyers, but they're not really moving price well. So you're kind of
No.
right. We need to get back above some of these local resistances to really see anything new.
there's no Jared. You mentioned this right, where it's gonna possibly some profit taking. So or a drop. So it did drop a little bit, and now it's trying to come back up to the after hours high. But
Mhm.
man, this was clean. Like Snow, like I think a lot of people were holding their bullets for Nvidia, but if you're watching Snow, it was really nice and steady. Um,
Yeah, I gotta say, Snow was way better than this.
oh yeah, yeah. This
Nvidia's
is a chop fest we're getting on Nvidia is
Nvidia's a
disgusting.
mess. Yeah,
Yeah. The
sometimes you
iron,
find the right name.
yeah, the INQ do anything? INQ dropping down 12%. So that's the quantum stuff. That should be interesting tomorrow. And what's the other one we had? AI. AI also down, and then eBay. Someone mentioned eBay as well. eBay also down. So we'll look at. They'll be all in our gappers list tomorrow. We'll take advantage of how they look in the morning as well. Should be fun. Should be an interesting day for sure.
Yeah, we just are not getting anything out of NVIDIA, are we?
All right, now we'll need the conference call.
Yep,
Yep.
yep. Conference call in 30 minutes. We'll see
That's what it is.
what takes place there. Nicholas, is it Nvidia or Nvidia? I've seen people say it both ways on TV. I'm not sure which one's correct. Do you guys know Nvidia or Nvidia? What's the
No idea.
actual? No idea.
Uh,
I've seen reporters do it
Wherever
both
you're
ways.
from, it
Yeah,
depends on what
yeah,
you're gonna.
yeah. So,
chip maker McGee, Nvidia. Just whatever your accent is.
that's
But
it.
yeah, I mean,
That's
there's
it.
no A between the actual word Nvidia. So if
Yeah,
you're gonna
yeah,
say it with just the letters, Nvidia.
yeah, yeah. And oh man, it's
Just
just
pinned here
ugly.
at 131
This is
now.
not what we pay for, Nvidia.
Exactly,
This is
Paris.
not what we pay for here, man.
No.
All right. All right, guys. On YouTube, hit that thumbs up. We're not responsible for how Nvidia traded today, but we are responsible for bringing you information, which I believe we did a pretty decent job, better than what NVIDIA showed you here. And hopefully this was helpful. So yeah, we're going to wrap it up, guys. Great earnings as far as Snow. Some other ones did very interesting. CRM, great bounce. Paris killed this one as well. He did very good there. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the morning. Mike, thanks for covering for Peter today. Appreciate you. And Jared,
Absolutely.
yeah, Jared, it's always great to have you on, man, with all the good insights. Guys, subscribe, hit that thumbs up. We'll be live again 8 a.m. in the channel with Engineering the Markets, then 8:30 Peter and I in the pre-market show, followed by live trading. So take care, guys. Have a great evening. We'll see you.
Take care, everybody. Thank you, Carlos.
Later, everybody.
Good.